Spoiler warning! This video can potentially contain a lot of political bullshit. So if that is not your thing, enrages you, or you simply have a trigger warning that makes you go into an unfettered rage upon hearing anything political, click away now. I'm going to talk about something I normally don't talk about, and I usually avoid talking about because I'm not one for politics usually. But this has become an increasingly problematic issue in just about every day-to-day life I go in, either be in real life or in online forums or just in interactions in general in the general US of A. And that is the fact that our freedom of speech isn't really freedom of speech. Be it jackasses on forums or websites censoring every curse word we say, some white knight asshole wanting to report you to the forum moderator because they're butthurt that you pissed them off, or our own government mysteriously deleting posts that are politically inflammatory and or true that they don't want the public to know. Freedom of speech in the USA is all but a fucking illusion. Even now, these curse words that I'm using in this video are likely gonna get it slammed into the adult-only filter category because, oh no, the children, they get the children who curse about 10 times as often as any adult does within the last 30 seconds of this sentence. Tell me if this sounds familiar to any of you. You have a really bad game in a game, MMO, whatever have you, and you want to go and vent your frustrations to a forum where you can find other users to empathize with your plight and or relate with you. But instead of getting relatable, empathizing people and or people to, go, oh man, that's happened to me too, you get a bunch of assholes who go, oh, you're not supposed to say that, you're not supposed to say that, reported! When your post contained barely a single curse word and or a term that could be offensive to snowflakes only. And by snowflakes, I mean people who get offended at terms and or wordings that aren't offensive to normal people, but because they got it in their head that they should become offended by a word that doesn't even apply to them, that they should be up in arms about it. And no, that is not the reason for this video. This video has nothing to do with any annoying dipshit online. Though there was annoying dipshit from an earlier web game that I played earlier, but that's neither here nor there. That's not the reason for this. We Americans have to watch every single word we say in a public format. The only time we have freedom of speech, quote unquote, is when you're in the privacy of our own homes. And even then sometimes we can't, depending on the company we keep. Now before any of you potential assholes out there want to get in your head that, oh, so it's okay for me to be an asshole and rude motherfucker. No, it's not. I'm not talking about you. You're a rude motherfucker who needs to shut his mouth when he's being rude to people. No, I'm talking about simply talking in general or stating your opinion on something and people wanting to censor and or quiet you because they either don't agree with it or because they find it offensive because society has deemed it offensive for some reason. In fact, one of the few times you have pure freedom of speech is when everybody else agrees with you. When the message of everybody else agree with you is in effect, you can say just about what the fuck you want, and nobody will bat an eye or argue with you. It's magical, I know! But the millisecond you start talking about something that's either an unpopular opinion or people in your immediate vicinity and or forum don't agree with, suddenly it's, shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about, or you're just being an asshole because you want to be. When it comes down to it, freedom of speech in this country only extends to as far as people are willing to tolerate what you have to say. And to be quite frank, I don't think that's what Roosevelt and co. had in mind when they signed the Declaration of Independence. But, you know, I could be wrong. For all I know, they could have had a little clause of tiny wording on the original Declaration that says, but any people that disagree with our own should be hanged by the noose until dead. And given today's culture, I wouldn't be surprised if they could get away with it. They would add that addendum. Now, I'm not going to be all doom and gloom and say the U.S. is a piece of garbage, which it is, but it isn't. There are a lot of freedoms that Americans get that we take for granted that other countries don't have. But that said, a lot of our freedoms only extend as far as the tolerance of what the people in this country and other people around you are willing to tolerate. If at any point you become offensive to them and or they don't like what you're talking about or doing, then, well, guess what? Your shit's gonna get wrecked. The problem with this is that people's tolerance and or acceptance of your actions and or speech only extend about as far as they want it to. So at any point, even if you're acting within complete social norms, if your immediate surroundings don't like what you're doing or saying, your shit's gonna get wrecked either way, be it verbally, socially, or physically. So while we do have many freedoms other countries don't have, these freedoms are limited by the surrounding people's tolerance of what they agree with and or like about you. Which, funnily enough, that extends to local law enforcement as well. If an officer wants to, they can arrest you for any number of bullshit they want to. What's that? You said something that they didn't like, they were being offensive to an officer. Which is an arrestable offense, by the way. Talking about something they and or people don't like? Disturbing the peace. You think I'm joking, but people have been arrested for this bullshit, folks. And don't even get me started with racism as involved. Oh my god. The amount of tolerance people have for people who they are racist against is so fucking low, they could literally just cough and be slammed on the ground and say you're under arrest for public indecency or some other bullshit reason. The African American community has it the worst in this country. Yes, things have come a long way for them, I agree, and they deserve every right they have gotten. But it doesn't matter to these old asshat farts who think they should still be in chains doing their fucking chores and being their sex slaves. This country tries to toot its own horn about how we are accepting of all races and creeds. But when it comes to the African Americans, they try to downplay and hide so much of the racism that goes on in this country. Granted, it's not horribly bad, but it's still bad. And no, for any of you racist pricks out there, no, I am not part African American or gangster or anything like that. I am just an American who believes everybody should have the same rights as everybody else, no matter their nationality, race, and or religion. But that thought process is also unpopular, because Americans tend to be entitled little pricks. And once again, no, I am not an immigrant. I was born in the US of A. My entire racial lineage is white-ass tracker. Okay, well, that's not entirely true. I have some Cherokee in my bloodline, but still, Cherokees are original Native Americans to the country. So, go figure on that one. But let's be real. 90% of you fuckers have not even gotten this far in the video. You clicked off 5 minutes ago. And to those of you who have actually stuck around this long, thank you for continuing to watch my shit. I know it can be garbage at times. I know this video is probably garbage, but thank you for watching. I appreciate your viewership, even though I don't make a penny off of this because, YouTube refuses to entitle my account to monetization, I appreciate your viewership. I know my video format is niche and it's random as fuck at times, and most people don't even know which one I'm fighting towards. The reality of the matter is, I upload what the fuck I want because, as I said before, I'm not making any money off this, so why should I stick to a niche or try to follow the trends when I'm not making any money? And even if I was, I doubt I would still anyways, because that's just not how I am. That's not how I create my content. I make this shit because I want to, because it's fun, or because I want to vent my frustrations, not because I'm trying to make a penny. If at any point I became monetized, it would just be a perk. It wouldn't be a way of life for me. So yeah, if you're watching this and you liked, commented, or subscribed, thanks. Your support, it means a lot to me. I appreciate it. With that said, I'm probably going to end this video here because I've talked about politics for long enough, and I'm not normally one to talk about serious bullshit on my channel. Or if I am, it's mostly done as a vent, not as a general talking point like I have in this video. Though granted this video is partially a vent, I'm rambling at this point. So I'm just going to cut this off here and say thank you for watching, and catch you in my next video, which will be whenever. This is Josiah, signing off.